to the Osgood Historical Museum. We're located in southeastern part of Indiana in Ripley County. Today, I hope, is one of many episodes that we are going to make that will not only describe the town of Osgood, our little museum, and the people who make it wonderful. Let us go into the museum. Normally our hours are from 2 to 5 on Fridays and Saturdays, but due to the coronavirus, we are temporarily closed. We will open again when it is deemed safe for the general public. And here's our museum. And we have a guest, well, two guests today, is my mother, Elizabeth Wagner, and our emotional therapy dog of Periwinkle. He's now hiding. Welcome, Elizabeth Wagner. Elizabeth Wagner, married to Charles Wagner, who grew up here in Osgood. Elizabeth grew up in Aurora, Indiana. They met at Hanover College, which is near here, and were married, so that makes her a native. So Elizabeth is going to describe to us today about how Osgood started. Elizabeth, take it away.
In 1856, George Cochran bought the land and began laying out a town site in a settlement known as Claytown, which just consisted of a few homes and a blacksmith shop and, of course, a tavern. It's Osgood, after all. The Claytown name could have been Upper Hog Thief, as the really early name given in this location, and it was Upper Hog Thief and Lower Hog Thief. Thank goodness they turned to Claytown, and later, in honor of Mr. Osgood, who was the chief engineer in charge of surveying, the town was named after him. There's a plank road that was built from oak boards between the town of Napoleon and Versailles, and we have a piece of that plank road in the museum. So you must come visit us and see what other historical facts we have.
Now I'm going to switch the phone, which will be awkward and inconvenient to my mother, and I will continue to talk a few more items about Osgood. Here. And we'll see how this works. Not only is my mother here now a cameraman, she's also a timer. As many of my old students know, I have a tendency to run on, so she is here to tell me whether I have run on. So as she had mentioned, Osgood was platted out by the railroad. A railroad played an essential role in its development. When they came to lay out the property of the land, they named the streets after the many trees that Osgood saw here, which were sycamores, maple tree, walnut tree. So we had a lot of trees, and he named them after that. As as an assignment for home, if anybody could tell us a little bit more about A.L. Osgood, which was a civil engineer for the O&M Railroad in this area, we would love to have some more information about him. We have yet to be able to find out anything about him other than the fact that he came from New York and that his crew members all thoroughly enjoyed him. They thought he was a nice boss. When Osgood was first formed with the railroad, some of its chief industry that was here was the quarry ponds. We had 3 major quarry ponds, and which gave us some industrial strength limestone, which is it's one of the harder limestones in the state of Indiana. Good for construction. We also had lumber mills, which the lumber mill enabled us to get a brick factory. And we also had, of course, with the farmers, we had flour mills and other food processing mills. So that is all. I'm pretty close to my time ending that we have today, but I would encourage you during this time, because you are staying home, you're being safe, you're washing your hands, you're social distancing, that you also take the time to talk to your relatives. And one great way is to go to these two websites and interview a family member. And you can do that and get a family history. Some of the family history that we have had today in the museum, this person wrote or took newspaper articles and chronicled World War II, and it was done inside of a book, which makes it interesting to see what book they chose, an old book, and some of the items that they felt important to put in their scrapbook. So other things, like I said, you can go to the website. The websites will give you a list of questions. This is a great time to chronicle your family history and to truly get questions. I had a lot of questions for my mother during the outbreaks that happened of scarlet fever after World War II. So that is all that we have for you today. We hope that you have enjoyed our video, and shout out to my musician friends. Maybe we can get a theme song, or to also all my friends to tell me how bad or good of a job that my mother and I have done on the first video. We hope you enjoyed. Thank you.